Chris Fix here tonight with Jada Thomas Combs, who is a member of Talladega County, and she has a very interesting story to tell me that they prevented from joining the Talladega GOP. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So tell me exactly what happened. You applied, or how does that work?
Well, it was about 4.5, 5 years ago. I was running for city council. I was running Republican, of course. So my husband and I decided to join the Republican Party of Talladega County. We went to several meetings. The chair at this time was Teresa Grant. Well, they vote you in. Well, according to Teresa Grant, she wasn't going to vote me in, period.
Did she have a reason for this?
No reason. Never heard a reason or nothing. So they spoke with a lady named Ashley Combs, she is Veterans Affairs. She was in Lee County at that time. Well, they went to her to get her to lie to say that I was making fun of her as a veteran for being raped in the military, which never happened.
Wow.
So, right. So Philip Morris called me, Commissioner Morris called me and said that it was his fault that he stepped over my husband and I to be joining the Talladega County Republican Party, and that he would get back to us to get back on so we can join. He never did.
Never got back in touch with you.
Never did.
So they didn't want you or your husband to be part of the Talladega Republican Party?
No. There was a big uproar, and the Republican members wondered why I was not.
I have one question for you, not that it matters. And just tell me if my guess is right here. Would you happen to be involved in a interracial marriage?
Yes, I am.
Somehow I figured that would be, I figured I would be right on that. But anyway, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead and finish.
But yes, so ever since this bled down the line, it kept going and kept going. I've applied 3 different times and was rejected 3 different times.
Was any reason given to you by why you were rejected?
None.
Was
None
there
whatsoever.
a name that was put on there that you've been hereby rejected, signed?
Sandy Epperson rejected me, which is now the chair of the Talladega County Republican Party.
Sandy Epperson. Okay, and she is the chair of the Talladega Republican Party. Okay.
Yes, she is. I tried to join the Dega GOP Facebook page. I was rejected there as well. So she sent me a comment that said, "Oh, please join again. I'm sorry I rejected you." I was like, "No." I said, "It's okay. I'm good with the rejection." She was like, "No, do it again." And I said, "No, I'm good." I said, "This is the 2nd rejection or 3rd rejection that you've done." And then she came back to me, which I have those text messages, and says, "Did I find what I was looking for?" I said, "Excuse me, could you elaborate on what you meant by that?" And she stopped the text message.
What do you think she meant with that question?
I think she thought I was fishing for some things, which I wasn't. I was just trying to join the party that I believed in.
Now, prior to this, you had no run-ins with these people, no beef, no causing problems out there, raising Cain in the community, anything like that. You just you believed in the values of the Republican Party and what they stood for, and you wanted to join as a member, and you were denied.
Right. Yes. Now, mind you, I've paid my dues several different times at several different meetings. I was going to join the Republican Party way before Ms. Epperson ever became a member or the chair. I was there way before she was.
And I want, for record and everybody knows, you're not trying to make a name for yourself as being a black female Republican. You are truly a conservative, who wants, who believes in those values.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
A
'Cause I
hardcore
don't want somebody to
Republican.
come back out, and say and make some kind of accusations like that. I want to make sure we get on the record that you are a conservative. You believe in the values of the Republican Party. Small
Yeah.
government, family values, things along those lines.
Yes. Yes. I'm to the point where I'm in several different Republican organizations: East Alabama Republican
Mm-hmm.
Assembly, Bama Kerry. I'm also a director of the Convention of States, which believes in small government. So,
You're
I mean, I
Republican,
don't
true
know
and true.
how
I mean, you don't think you're more
I'm a
Republican than
Republican.
that. So
Right.
there's no reasoning that these people gave you. They don't want you. I mean, that they can just deny you because they want to.
Yeah. Basically, they didn't give me any reason whatsoever. So I started going up the chain. So each time I started going up the chain, somebody in that party, namely the committee, would say something out in public. Like Laura Barlow Heath told
So say this again
a
for me,
member
Flo.
of the
Who's this person now?
Laura Barlow
Huh?
Heath. Laura Barlow Heath is the vice chair of the Talladega Republican Party. Those two are the main ones. She actually told a person, her name is Tina Sanders, because Tina Sanders was going to run for District 1 pretty soon, not to be involved with me because I will make her campaign not a winning campaign. And she said, diplomatically speaking, that I would do that. I've never had a problem with Laura Barlow Heath at all. Been to her children's birthday party and everything. Stood and ran right beside her when she ran for city
So
council.
diplomatically speaking, you would hurt her campaign. So I mean, and
Yes.
I don't want to jump to conclusions or put words in people's mouth, but to me, it sounds like having a black person as a member of their campaign would damage her campaign. Is that an unfair statement for me to make? Because I don't want to accuse anybody of anything, but that's what it sounds like to me.
Yes, that's what it sounded like to me. And I was shocked by it because I've never said a malice word against her, nor Sandy. I've sat down in Sandy's house and in Laura's house before. I've broke bread with these people. I've spoke very highly of these folks. But when it comes to me, it's not the way it goes.
Then they want to distance themselves from you. The Republican Party is supposed to be the big tent where we welcome in everybody and we try to reach out to bring everybody in. And here we are pushing away somebody. I mean, let me ask you, somebody who considers herself Republican, trying to work for Republican causes, how does that make you feel that they're pushing you away and saying, hey, we don't want you?
Not wanted, that they don't care about the African American vote or how to come across to African Americans. They don't care. They don't need us, basically. They don't want us. We're unwanted. That's what it makes me feel like.
Now, I mean, and I've had this conversation with so many friends that, we as Republicans could make so many inroads with the African American community because they are, socially conservative. They are religious people. They want their children to grow up and get out of, I was going to say, the hood lifestyle. They want them to grow up and to get a job and be successful. The ones that I've met, and now
we're not with the Lyndon B Johnson effect. That's not what we were here for. We are people who will prosper and grow and love our families, our faith, want to do stuff for our community and our people. But the Democrats are supposed to be tying our hands for that, not the Republican Party. The Republican Party is supposed to be geared into helping the American people, no matter if they're white, black, green, purple, orange, or whatever, to have a leg up in the world.
Exactly.
No.
Now, I mean,
not here.
I hope that, because this does not speak, I can tell you this does not speak for all Republicans, because this really enrages me that here you are, you'd be treated this way by trying to join the Republican Party. I mean, they might as well put their, I'm just going to say it, put their white hats on, is what it sounds like to me. If they're going to make, this is like going back to the 1950s type thinking. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Didn't you tell me that you was involved in something that was a minority group that was trying to help grow?
Yes, I'm part of the minority GOP. That's in the Republican Party. I mean, we meet in grow the Republican minority group larger than what it already is.
I mean,
but most minorities see and hear, supposed to be the Republican is supposed to be for them, but as they see it, it's not.
So they down here, this sounds like they just want their good old boy faction, and they don't want your kind in there, so to speak. Is the way it sounds. I mean, and I'm not trying to make that sound to me like it's being racist, but that's the racial term.
But that's their mentality right now. I mean, I don't know of any other at this moment besides me inside African American that is inside of the Talladega GOP. As far as I know, Sandy Everton didn't even know that there was a minority GOP in the Republican Party.
I mean, is this hurtful? Does this make you angry? I mean, what kind of emotion?
This is what else? Because that's not what the Republican Party is geared for.
I mean, I can't fathom that how anybody would turn away any type of votes, and especially somebody, when you have minorities that's trying to grow your party and you're telling them to turn away. Who all of you, have you talked to anybody else about this? Any members of the media? I mean, I hate to say that I'm a member of the media because I guess technically I am, but I think they're vultures for the most part. They have an agenda.
I've reached out to a lot of different multiple media outlets and they wouldn't pick it up at all.
None of them would touch it.
None of them. None.
What about other members on like the Talladega the GOP executive committee? Have you talked to other members of them about that? What are their names?
I'm a part of Alabama Strike Force. Joan Reynolds, which is the head of Alabama Strike Force. I went to her about it. I went to her husband, Paul Reynolds, about it. I've been to John Wall about it. I went to Pascal about it. I've been to Philip Brown, and Philip Brown, which is the head of the minority GOP, is one of the ones who's shining light on it. But Paul Reynolds feels like that it will blow away. It's not blowing away.
No,
just here recently.
It's not going to blow away. I can assure you that. I'm glad that you reached out and that you found me. I mean, I want to commend you for not just saying the heck with it and turning around and walking away. That you still stood by that. You still, no matter how these people have treated you, you still believe that in the Republican values and that see that not all Republicans are like this. This just enrages me that you have been treated this way by members of the Republican Party. What kind of responses have you got from John Wall?
None.
Has he not returned any phone calls?
Nope.
Okay. What about the if you call that the state party headquarters and stuff like that?
I received a phone call from Paul Reynolds, and he was going to look into it. I've called him several times back. I want to say maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, and I haven't heard anything else from him since then.
Okay. Can you get me names for all the people that you've talked to, people that are on the Talladega board?
Sure.
You got phone numbers? Get them.
I will give you emails. I will give you everything.
Just text those to me because I want to know why that we have not only why we have African Americans, and female still, black female being pushed away from the party when that should be, we should, we're the Big Tent. We should be opening them up in I mean, this should be something that, they should point out that the Republican Party should be promoting. Hey, look, we're bringing in, black females who at one time would have never been a Republican. They see that the values that we have are the same that they have, and instead of doing that, they're doing this right here. These people need to lose their positions of leadership, and if I have anything to do with it, they will lose their positions of leadership.
And one of the biggest things that bothers me is there are African American females and males inside of Talladega who are Republicans that won't speak out because they know how the Republican Party is here. They just won't do it. Or they'll vote in secret, but they won't be proud of the fact that they are Republican. And they need to be proud of the fact that they are Republican.
And they need to be accepted and be welcomed into that group as equals.
Yes, and it's like here recently, I want to say maybe a month ago, I was voted in unanimously. Why? Why now?
Yeah.
Why
now?
Why now? It took 5 years for you to decide to bring me into the Republican Party. Why now?
This whole time you've been working to try to help grow the party.
Yeah. I will continue to work on my end, to grow the Republican Party, but I will not recommend them to be a part of the Talladega GOP because no African American should ever be treated that way, no matter what.
You're 100% correct on that. I mean, I wish you could, and I'm trying to maintain my decorum here. I wish you could know how bad this really angers me that you're being treated that way. Wanting to be a member of the party, wanting to see the party grow, wanting to see the party be successful, and they're telling you, well, we don't need you, or we don't need your votes. Has anybody told you? Didn't you tell me somebody said something like that to you?
Yes, I was told and heard from another GOP member that Terry Latham said that she doesn't need the African American vote.
Terry Latham said that?
Mm-hmm.
Does not need African American votes.
But no. And African Americans are part of the foundation of the United States.
Of course.
They're embedded.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
African American history is American history. It's everybody's history. Just like, as people say, Caucasian history. It's American history no matter how you cut it. It happened on the American soil with everybody who was born here. It is their history, period.
Yeah. I mean, we're all part of this together. Even, in our Native American history, with Chinese American history, we are I hate to use this term, but America is a melting pot. We have so many different nationalities and groups and so many histories and cultures that we can learn from each other.
Right.
And we don't have to agree with every one of them or take every one of them in, but there is something from each nationality, ethnicity that we can learn from and we can grow from and become better people because of it. Have you heard any politicians make any kind of statements like this, or are they just turning a blind eye to this?
I believe that they are. Like, I had a meeting, I went to a Shelby County Republican women's meeting, and I asked Mo Brooks in front of all these people, how do you plan on receiving or gathering the African American vote? His statement was, there is no such thing as the African American vote. I believe that it's an all around vote, everyone's vote. And I said, no, that's not true. How are you going to get the African Americans to believe in you for them to vote for you as a Republican?
You're exactly right. Yes.
And he kind of just pushed it off to the side and just kind of chuckled it off. This was Mo Brooks.
Yeah, well, you see what happened to him in his his Senate race.
Campaign.
Any of the, I mean, have you talked to any of the local politicians around there? I mean, what are their, do they have any responses to this?
Local politicians here in Sylacauga, Alabama, Talladega, they won't get close to me because I'm an outspoken Republican.
Well, they're probably going to fix to avoid you a lot more because I'm fixing to do an article on this, and I'm going to make a lot of phone calls because I want to know why our black brethren and sisters are being treated this way when they're wanting to be part of the Republican Party. I mean, we talk about not, I hear, people say all the time, growing the party and bringing minorities in, and then this right here happens. I mean, this just appalls me that someone is treated like this in this day and time.
And if you think about it, it's more African American Republicans that have been done this way than you possibly can imagine.
And you're probably exactly right because when you first told me the story, I was in absolute shock. I figured I would think that this would be, hey, we've got some black females coming into the party. I mean, we'd be ecstatic. I mean, that's 3 more votes that the Democrats are not going to have. If that's those 3, 4, we can continue to grow and grow and grow among the black community, and bring them into our side and show, hey, look, we're here to help you get, economically higher in life than to be, I hope somebody will take this the wrong way, but to me, the Democratic Party has held the blacks in almost a type of slavery with what they've done with, social welfare. I mean, some people may jump all over me for that, but that's just how I feel about it. I mean, every 4 years, they come around asking for the black vote, and then you don't see them for 4 years.
Right. And then people aren't understanding. If they think about it, up in the Vulcan Museum, they have a picture of Lyndon B Johnson sitting there signing African Americans away, basically. This is Margaret Sanger, I believe she's in this picture. He's sitting there signing the welfare. Lyndon B Johnson's welfare state.
The Great Society program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is who we have to look up to? No.
And that was, anything but, and people are not, if you notice that, people are not allowed to criticize that, or if they do, stuff is said because it's racist. It's racist if you criticize the Great Society program. When if you get down to it, it was anything but. It has held an entire generation, or probably 2 generations now, in poverty.
Yeah, you're suppressing people of color, as they say nowadays. You are suppressing them. They can't live in public housing with the father of their children. Because if the female is in public housing with the father of their children, it's going to guarantee that the female will be booted out with their children, because you can't have that father figure in your home.
So they're doing away, not wanting the nuclear family.
Yes.
And that is one of the most important staples of the family is the nuclear family. The mother and the father being there together.
Right. And people don't understand, one of the Republican beliefs is in the nuclear family.
Exactly. That's one of the big staples, family values. The mother, the father, raising the child together, instilling, what's right and what's wrong with them. And,
right.
we just, the Great Society program was anything but great. Sorry, I guess we've kind of digressed there a little bit, but that's fine.
But you're right, it was anything but great. How they got around it was throwing money at the single mother. Well, we'll give you this stipend a month. We'll give you these food stamps a month. We'll give you this money a month, welfare check a month, if you don't have the mail in your house. Money is what they're looking for, that almighty dollar. If you do this, you can have this much money. If you have these many kids, you get this many food stamps. That's not the way that you're supposed to raise a family. When you raise a family, it's mother and father working together to instill the values of the American dream and education inside these children.
Because if not, you're just creating another generation that is going to be stuck in this cycle, and it's never going to get out of it.
And as you can see, the cycle continues. How many low-income housings do we have?
Oh, God.
How many low-income programs do we have?
I couldn't even give you a number.
How many African-American children graduate high school with proficient educational levels in reading, math, and science, and arithmetic? This is pretty low because they have this No Child Left Behind law. So you can be the dumbest person on earth and still go up in the ranks of school.
So
because it's no child
what behind. Is it?
And most of those children are African American children.
What is it that makes John a Republican? What part of the conservatism? I mean, what is it that just, is there one thing in particular that makes you?
Yes.
Family. That is such a great answer. Because you wanted to see your family grow up and to be successful in life and to instill in them values.
The United States is a great nation. It has so many opportunities, but we also hold so many people backwards. We need to be back on that same page to grow each and every one of our people up together, period. We started as a united front, and we need to stay as a united front for our next generations.
You sound like a lady getting ready to run for office.
Thank you. I am.
We got some congressional districts that's fixing to be opened up.
Oh, yes. I do want to run for mayor. I am going to run for mayor of Sylacauga because Sylacauga, to me, is taking a very big hit.
What?
And you can see the divide.
What do you want to do for the people of Sylacauga?
I want to unite them.
You want to unite them. That is a great answer.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be a uniter, not a divider.
Yes. I want to unite Sylacauga for every cause, for the children, the women, the men, the elderly, for anyone. I want them to see that Sylacauga, the way it started when they used to close down the streets downtown and people would shop in the little shops downtown, come out, fellowship together, have ice cream socials, plan their weekends together, back to a united front, because it takes a village to raise these kids nowadays.
Now, when I get in touch with these people, what do you want me to, is there any certain question you want me to ask them, or each person? I'll ask, if you have a question you want me to ask each individual person, I'll do that. I mean, you can just text them to me, but what would you like to know from them?
Why? Why would you suppress a person from their growth?
Then they will be asked that. I will start working on this. I will be working through the night. I can promise you that. I mean, because this is you got me about half fired up, and you, like I said, you picked the right person to go to war with. I will stand by you on this cause, and I will find out why they are treating our black females, African Americans, the Republican Party, and saying that we don't want your vote. That just appalls me, and we need answers for that right there. And I will get these answers for you, regardless if I have to go down to each and every one of their offices and knock on the door. And if they escort me out, then so be it. But I will not stop until I get the answers that you need.
And thank you. I pray to God that finally someone is listening